Psych.
Welcome to the Curly Hair Q&A show. I am your host, Ken Nickels, and I'm here with Melanie Nickels. She is a Devacurl certified stylist. Not really. She's a level 2 stylist and the founder of the Raw Hair Organic. You guys will get the joke as we go on here. But anyway, welcome to the Curly Hair Q&A show. I am your host, Ken Nickels, and I am here with Melanie Nickels. She's the founder of the Raw Hair Organic Salon in beautiful Naples, Florida. It's one of the top curly hair salons in the country, and Melanie is one of the top curl and ABCH certified hair colorists in the country and anywhere in the world. She is also the founder of the Raw Curls brand of natural and organic curly hair products that can be found at rawhairorganics.com. This is show number 140 if you've been following along, and we've got a busy show today. We've got a live interview today we're going to talk about, and then a couple questions and some other odds and ends. So how are you, Melanie?
I'm good. I think the congestion's gone to your head. You seem a little off or rusty here.
A little bit. It's been this and it's been going around the country. This kind of upper respiratory thing has worked its way through my house, and I was last to get it, and I'm just getting down to the end of it, and it's been awful.
I'm good. I'm finally feeling better. I just have a little bit of a lagging dry cough, and that might be from the red tide. So
yeah, which we have down here in the Gulf. If you haven't heard about it on the news. So anyway, we are an award-winning podcast, and tomorrow morning at about 5:30 a.m. Eastern time or earlier, you can find this episode and every other episode that we've done so far of however many, on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Radio Public, Podcast Addict, and also now on SoundCloud.
Ooh,
so that's really cool.
That sounds fun.
Tonight, we are live streaming in a number of different places, and I'm going to give you the list of those depending on where you're watching. There are other choices, and there are many. We are live streaming tonight on the Curly Hair Q&A YouTube channel, Instagram at Raw Curls. Hey, Instagram. Also live in the Curly Girl support group, the Devacurl user support group, the Curly Hair Q&A group, the Raw Curls user support group, the Curly Girl Method product swap, the Curly Hair Q&A Facebook page, which is new last week. Last week was the first week that we got that. I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you go and like and share that page. I'll wait. I'm serious.
I think we need some more locations.
Some more locations.
We're not in
enough I'm not places. Even done yet. I'm
not
even done yet.
Okay.
You can also watch us live stream tonight on Twitter at Curly Hair Q&A, spell it all out, and on Periscope at Curly Hair Q&A, spell it all out. So, God, in total, that is like 20 different places you can listen to us, watch us live stream.
You can't get away.
You cannot get away from
us.
Right. Yep. You can't contain us. You can only hope to control us. Oh, that was a Michael Jordan thing. Anyway, something like that. So anyway, got any fun facts for us this week, Melanie, other than the fact that we're both getting over being sick?
Let's see. Well, I hope you all enjoyed meeting my mother and seeing her and talking about having curls after chemotherapy. I thought that was a really good topic.
After 75.
Yeah. Well, way to tell everybody how old my mom is. But I think we have that backwards. I just was messing with somebody the other day in the salon because somebody said she looked great, and I said, yeah, it's hard to believe that they're 80, right? And they were like, oh my God. Well, I mean, it's funny. We should say we're older than what we are. So people are like so shocked,
Impressed.
Yeah, right. I'm going to start saying I'm 70.
I do. I tell people my next age because I'm getting close. So I don't care. Oh my God.
So
anyway.
Fun facts. We just had a really nice time with my mom and got to do some fun makeovers on her and her friend. And I didn't post her Edda's pictures yet, but I will. And just did a lot of fun things while they were here. So tons of fun facts about that. We just really enjoyed the theater, going out on the boat, and ended the week with a comedy show. We saw Sam Comroe, and oh my gosh, he was so funny.
He's the dude from America's Got Talent. He
Yeah.
made the top 3 or 4, he said.
Top 4, I think.
Yeah.
He's the one with Tourette's, and I absolutely loved it. I have to say he was one of the top comedians that we've ever seen. He was so funny and just like natural. It was off the cuff. He picked on Ken, so it was perfect. Yeah, he did.
He thinks I'm a bully.
Yeah.
He's going to pick me in a fight. I'm like, wait.
No, he said no.
No, he said, I'm not fighting with that guy, but I'm picking that guy.
Yeah, so now he befriended you, so in case he's in a fight that you can be on his side.
Because he was taunting everybody.
But he didn't. Nobody picked on me.
Like the guy in a dress. Oh,
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. So it was fun. That was really fun.
Yeah, it was nice. So.
Loved it.
Anyway, but she's back home, and we got our house back, and it's kind of back to normal.
Kind of.
Pretty much. So anyway, so what do you think, Rhett? Should I do a couple of questions with Melanie first, or? Okay, we're good to go. All right, you guys. I've got a guest this evening, and tonight this was postponed from last week, the previous week, for a couple of issues we talked about. But tonight we have a stylist on with us, Kristy Zimmerman. She's the founder and creative director of Uptown Curl, which is between 2 locations, one in Uptown Minneapolis, Minnesota, and the other in the historic downtown Stillwater, Minnesota. She also has an upcoming 3rd location in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. And yeah, we know how to pronounce that because we're from that area. Nobody else, if you read this, wouldn't know how to say it. And I know where Eau Claire is, and I've been there. Anyway, oh boy. Are they the Pointers? No, that's Stevens Point. Anyway, okay. Kristy is a curl by curl educator under Lorraine Massey of Curly World in New York City, as well as a level 3 certified Devacurl stylist. Kristy chose to become a curly hair stylist at age 30 after being fed up with bad experiences in salons. Never heard of that before. Her entire life. She is focused on bringing curly haired women and men and kids throughout the Midwest the care and expertise that they deserve. So we're gonna do some Q&A, but I'm going with her. But I'm gonna go over a couple of things first. So about 3 weeks ago, Kristy made a post online, and there was immediately a lot of response, positive and negative about it, which to me is the perfect reason to bring someone on with a open Q&A like we do. We are the internet's only weekly Q&A, curly hair Q&A show that is done with curly hair experts or industry experts. So figured we were the perfect ones to do it. Not to mention that we already know Kristy. I already know her. So that's one of the things I'm going to go over. It just to so everybody understands this before we get into this this interview and this Q&A. One, we treat everyone that comes on our show with dignity and respect. They are a guest. They are our guests. They are industry professionals and have no obligation whatsoever to come on the show and talk to you. That being said, please be cognizant of that in your comments and questions for our guest and every other guest that we have on the show in the future. Be appreciative and thankful. Very, very strict of that. When this first came out and I asked for questions for Kristy, a number of people got banned from some of our many curly hair Facebook groups because they were not giving our guest tonight the dignity and respect that she deserves, and we frankly demand at a minimum. Secondly, full disclosure, as I said, Melanie and I have known Kristy professionally for about 5 years or so. We're not personal friends per se, but we are cordial and we have done business together in the past. Thirdly, I personally, in my previous career, a lot of you know, I spent a lot of years in the chemical and ingredient industry. So a lot of what is going to be discussed. I have a lot of experience selling those products. However, I'm not, other than doing the Q&A, I'm not going to be part of this discussion. So I'm not going to defend or debunk anything. Because it's not my position as a host to do that.
Well, I wanted to mention too, because we've had this discussion before in the past when we've had other guests on the show. We don't necessarily agree or disagree with things that, their point of view. So, we've had people on that do different techniques than I do. We have had people on that use different products than I do, and that I then the Raw Curls products and use different ingredients that we necessarily, support. So, but that's what makes it interesting. We're giving everyone a chance to, discuss their point of view, their experiences, their professionalism, and what they have to offer. And that's how we learn from each other. So, it's not that this is, we totally agree or disagree. We're neutral, and we're just bringing, people on to share with the curly world.
Right. We are show hosts. And we've realized that a long time. I mean, we've been doing this a long time now, that we've realized that we do the industry no good if we just come on here and spew what we think and believe. And
I'm not an expert in everything. So, people have different expertise and experiences than I do. And that's what, again, helps us all to grow and learn.
Mm-hmm.
So whether you agree or disagree, you can choose to use that knowledge or choose not to.
Right. Exactly. And that's exactly how we will continue to do this. One more disclosure that I need to put out there, and this came through the questions and I figured I better throw this out now, because it relates to a number of questions that came on here. Kristy is also good friends with Lorraine Massey, who is the founder of Devacurl, but has moved on over 5 years ago, and she is now the founder of Curly World Products in New York City, as I previously stated. So. So there, all the potential biases are laid out, because I know. See, Kristy, you don't. Okay, she's not on yet, but you see, she doesn't know because she's not out there. But I'm like, the scrutiny that we get whenever we bring a guest on, and I'm like, my God, it's like,
Okay, so
I'm wearing gray shorts today. It's like, my God. All right. So anyway, okay. So
one of the things I just have to tell you that the comedian picked on Ken for is carrying on, because he said he asked him a question about how he proposed, and what do you think the first words out of Ken's mouth were?
Long story short,
and the comedian jumped right on it because. As you can see, he always is very long with his words.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway.
It was hard to make a joke out of it when it wasn't a 3-word answer.
Yes.
But it was the correct answer. All right, let's get into it. Okay, let's bring her on. Kristy Zimmerman, how are you tonight?
Hey, Kristy.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
I'm glad we could finally have you. How's your son?
Yes. He's good.
How's your son?
Yes, football season is over. Life is getting back to normal.
Good.
So
okay, good news.
Good, wonderful, and congratulations on your expansions. It's great, great to hear.
Amazing.
It's great for the curl industry in general, and great for Greater Minneapolis and Eau Claire.
So something that Ken, you said in the introduction about her. Did you just start doing hair at the age of 30? And
yes.
you just went, and you just went right into the curly.
I did.
Oh, so I wasn't aware of that. So how many years have you been doing hair now?
Let's see, 8 or 9.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I wasn't aware of that. That's interesting. Wow. How cool.
No kidding. All right. Well, let's get into it. Okay. So, almost 3 weeks ago now, you had made a post online, and I'm gonna read it, and Rhett's gonna pull it up for everybody to see, and then we're going to discuss it. And what I'm going to do, Kristy, is I'm going to give you a Q&A that I picked from our multiple Facebook groups that came through on this. So I went through these ahead of time, and these questions are not coming from me. Melanie will probably have some questions for discussion. So just so you know, and that's why I read at the beginning. And obviously, you've seen our show enough to know that we don't we don't play the gotcha question game. We don't come out here to make anybody look bad or or whatever. So I want everybody to know that ahead of time, because I saw in a number of the groups when they heard you were coming on, that they thought we were going to come on. We were having you to come on so we could attack the hell out of you. And I'm like, you haven't watched. you haven't watched. But like Melanie said, no, it's great. It's great to have all kinds of different ideas, and we can't wait to hear from you. So the post that came up that you had posted, Rhett, can you show that, and then I'll read it. You had posted, do not use these products. They contain sodium hydroxide, which is the chemical name for lye. Lye is a caustic chemical used in hair relaxer. Devacurl has literally lied and put hair relaxer in their Decadence line of products, which is marketed to women of curl and highly textured hair. How dare you, Devacurl? This is absolutely disgusting and immoral. For anyone who has purchased these products, stop using them immediately and contact Devacurl customer service and demand a refund. Curly hair stylists, please repost and share this with your clients and followers, which I did oblige before I went to bed, as I would, and I immediately got feedback of, Ken, why would you do this? And I said, A, I know Kristy. B, she's a curl specialist. C, she's got a ton of credibility in my eyes and in Melanie's eyes. So if she asks me to repost it, I'm going to repost it. And it's not for me to rebut, and it's not for me to push and talk about. It's for Kristy. So I guess
tell us about your post.
So I guess let's start from
what
the
happened
beginning there.
And how did this come up?
How did this come about? So what made you, what gave you this position, and why? Tell us how this played out.
Well, I've been growing increasingly frustrated, not only with Devacurl, but with just a lot of hair brands in general over the past years. And as you said in the intro, I'm really good friends with Lorraine. She left Devacurl 5 years ago. And so since then, I feel like I've learned so much more in the product development process, how important ingredients are in hair products, how they're chosen, how formulas are created, because I didn't really have any experience with that, So I feel like I've learned a lot more from the very educated stance of having Lorraine's ear, and as she has gone through the process over the past few years of developing her new product line. And full disclosure, I do not purport myself to be a chemist. I do not have a bachelor's degree in chemistry. I'm a hairstylist. But before that, I am a curly girl. And I am just getting this really, I'm getting this sense that curly girls are continuing to get taken advantage of by companies that they put their trust in. And I wanted to start a conversation that says, number one, we shouldn't have to be chemists in order to read your label. There should be disclosure about what is in these products and what the purpose of them is for. And it shouldn't be so much about profit. It should be about what is safe and healthy for curly hair and for our scalp. And especially just with everything that I've been seeing going on in a lot of different Facebook groups, the accounts that I've been getting from my clients personally, face-to-face, the YouTube videos that I've been seeing, curly women have been experiencing hair loss. What that is attributed to, we cannot say absolutely 100%, but this is happening. It's a real thing. And I think it's time that we start scrutinizing, that we start asking questions and saying, wait a minute, what is in this bottle? What am I putting in my hair? I demand better.
Mm-hmm. So when I heard of this, I was really in a way surprised, because I've known you to be a very big supporter of Devacurl. So I was like, wow, what happened? Because I know you were like it seemed like you were pretty Diva exclusive with your products, and then you became really good friends with Lorraine. So did something change?
Or did it just boil down to,
Or was this just like all of a sudden you became aware?
you just became aware and it all kind of culminated? Is that it?
Well, I mean, like most curly hair stylists, I started my career on the Devacurl track because that's all there has been, you know. And I started it because I saw Lorraine Massey as a mentor and as a leader, and as really the best authority, being the author of, you know, the Curly Girl Handbook, and developing the first line of hair products that are really sulfate-free, silicone-free, that are really designed for the curly girl in mind. So I think like a lot of people that are curly hair stylists, we start off on the Devacurl track because, you know, they have the Devacurl Academy. I mean, it was 8 years ago that I started, and Lorraine was still with the company at the time. And I was really excited about going to the Devacurl Academy and getting the education and learning everything I could and carrying the products. But, you know, I think that there has been a dramatic shift in the culture of the Devacurl brand.
In the last 8-year period, from 8 years ago to now, you're seeing a dramatic shift in the company and products. Is that what you're saying? Between then and now? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, hey, listen, it's like, you know, all brands evolve, all brands change. And especially, you know, since the founder of the company left the company, is no longer there, of course, it's going to take a different direction. You know, I'm not here to, you know, totally bash Devacurl. It's their company. They can do what they want with it. But what I'm saying is that, you know, they're not the only option out there now. And also the newer options that they're coming out with, I have some real problems with. And I really think that they are a lot different than what they were when Lorraine was with the company. And it's just something that maybe we should be looking at a little bit deeper, because Devacurl has so many people's trust, including curly hair stylist trust and the curly hair community trust. And I just want to make sure that that trust is earned and that it remains honest.
Do you feel they've lost it with you?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I mean,
so have you changed product lines? Are you using different products? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I have the Devacurl original products, because they still continue to perform with what I feel is how they originally performed when I started using them. Some of the other products I've discontinued using because I don't, if I'm not going to use them on my hair, I am not going to sell them to someone to use. It's just not part of my philosophy. You know,
so is it ingredients, performance, or both?
I think it's both. Mm-hmm. I definitely think it's both. And, you know, I also think that there's better options out there now for some of those products, you know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course, like Raw Curls.
Of course, right. Shameless plug.
No, but they have come out, you know, with a lot of products really quickly. I have become a little unfamiliar because, you know, I was trained and familiar with their core products that they had, and then once the investors started taking over, it was like bam, bam, bam. I feel like every week they're coming out with a new product and I can't even keep up with what's what. Yeah. I don't know.
And we obviously, you know, Kristy, that, you know, we develop products ourselves, and we know how long it takes in a lab to create products that, you know, for curly hair that work. And I couldn't believe it, because I mean, we've got, as far as people in our company and formulating, we've got some really, really good people, and we can't knock out products as quickly as they were. And I thought,
well, they have a much bigger budget.
How do you do it? But still, it's like just the R&D takes so long.
Yeah. Right. But so something I noticed though, Kristy, was that ingredient, the sodium hydroxide, happens.
Is that the one you have the biggest problem with, or is that just the one you named?
That's just the one I named.
That's just the one you named. Okay.
Well, Okay.
Go ahead, Melanie.
That happens to be in all of their conditioners. I just wanted people to know it's not just in the Decadence. It's in their One Condition. It's in their, what's the light one? The Delight, and in the Decadence. It's on all three of their conditioners and the leave-in.
And I can tell you that was not in the original formula.
Okay, so that was my question. So that may be something that had changed when they have apparently reformulated or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean I know that when they went through the big shift 5 years ago, and
the first big shift.
Yeah, the first big shift 5 years ago when Lorraine left the company, they completely repackaged everything, and they discontinued the Devacurl line, which really sucked because a lot of us really loved that line. So that was sort of the first big shift, was that they discontinued Devacurl, and then they went through this really massive repackaging process, and I remember it distinctly because we couldn't get anything in stock for quite a number of weeks. We were out of things that were being repackaged. And when we got the One Condition, the original One Condition, it smelled different and the consistency was completely different. But because I was so invested, in this brand and
as most people who were carrying the brand at that time, of course.
Yes. I just wanted to be I'm sure it's a good thing. Maybe it's not a big deal. But what I didn't appreciate was that they were trying to tell us that it wasn't different. And it's come on, we've been working with this every day, on 10 heads of hair a day for, 3 years. And for other people, it was a lot more than me because I'm a baby in this industry.
Right. Right. You are. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. But, I just don't appreciate the lack of transparency. And that's all I'm trying to say. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a chemist. I'm sure that I could be way off on this, but all I'm saying is that if your conditioner has to contain lye in order for it to work, I'm not interested. I don't want to put that in my hair. Why does it have to have that in there? And I understand it's part of the saponification process or whatever, but I thought, why are we making soap? I thought we were making conditioner.
So did you address this with Devacurl as a company, or did you try to, and have they responded to you when you brought these issues up? Have you even tried, and have they responded?
No, I mean I think it's just I don't think I need to. I don't think I have a big enough voice for that. I mean,
sure.
I think it's just something that maybe we should all be asking.
Were you thinking? Were you thinking these same thoughts before you started to see the over the last couple of months has been some pretty loud voices and professionals talking about relating hair loss and hair damage to the Devacurl products in particular? Had you seen any of that in yourself or any of your clients at your salon? Had you seen anything like that? Anything that would make you think that that those things that you're seeing other people talk about were credible, or no?
Yeah. Yes.
You were.
Well, I haven't used Devacurl in my own hair for quite a while. I used No Poo. Maybe the last time I used it was a couple of years ago. So I have not actively been cleansing my hair with that. I have used the original One Condition now and again, but I've personally moved away from using it on my own hair.
You selling it in your salons at all?
Yeah, I do. I just sell the core products.
Yeah.
The core gel, the hairspray, a couple of the creams. But we've really been introducing alternatives. And not pushing them on people, but just saying, hey, you can still get what you're used to, but we also have an alternative if you want to try it. And just giving people options, I think, is really important.
So you were seeing people in your own salon that you believe had hair loss issues related to these products.
Well, I mean,
tell me
you know,
about that. Or how did you make the correlation where you finally said, this isn't the same as it used to be. Something's changed.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: is that the terrible thing about alopecia and about hair loss is that it is almost impossible to attribute it to one single factor. And that's what makes it so incredibly frustrating, because if you can't pinpoint the one cause of it, how can you change your lifestyle or whatever it could be doing? It could be something nutritional. It could be something.
Could be hormones.
Could be hormone. It could be thyroid. I'm not saying that Devacurl is 100% causing hair loss in 100% of these cases. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that personally. I think that would be a really foolish thing to believe. All I'm saying is that I've been hearing a pattern of consistent complaints from my clients who have been using no poo on a regular basis over the past few years. And so it has just started to tingle a little bit louder in my ears because there's been more people saying it. And they haven't been saying, I think no poo is making my hair fall out. I have been hearing them saying, I feel like I'm shedding a lot more hair when I wash my hair. And I'll say, okay, what are you washing your hair with? And a lot of times they would say no poo. And so I would say, okay, well, I want to make sure that you're really rinsing it out completely, because it does have a very thick consistency, and that can happen sometimes. Maybe you're clogging up the follicles a little bit. And I just was starting to hear it more and more. And then I happened upon a YouTube video from Curl Ninja, who I don't know personally, but it was actually like my first time ever hearing of her. And she posted a pretty dramatic YouTube video showing all of this hair loss on her hair. And I thought that what she said was way more scathing than what I said. But I watched this video, and she's also a curly hair stylist from my understanding. And that was sort of the first time that I was like, wow, maybe this is something I should really take a bigger look at. Maybe I should really be concerned about this, because my first and foremost concern is with my clients and their hair, with my own hair. I want to make sure that the things that I'm selling people are not going to be detrimental to them in any way. And that's when I just started reading about it a little bit more and seeing how this has been something that's been in the undercurrent of the curly hair community for a little while. And I think it's a conversation that probably deserves a little bit more scrutiny to it, because who knows if it's true? I don't know. But it's obviously, hair loss is one of the worst things that anybody can go through. And if it is happening because of this, then I hope that Devacurl takes action and maybe does a recall of their products and reformulates whatever could be happening from it.
Mm-hmm. Melanie, you have anything in response to that?
Well, going back to where we started with investors, I know that it is common, like you were talking about them repackaging, and just from my own experience, I'll say that when we were in talks with investors in the past, they definitely are a lot of times trying to change formulations. So
first question in meetings.
Yeah.
Very first question.
Yeah. Yep. So that is a very common practice. So it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case, for sure, because we've experienced. I said no, and we severed our relationship. But
right.
Yeah, that is a common practice, because they are a lot of times about the bottom line.
Of course. I mean it.
Well, let's get into some of the questions that were people from the groups, and you can respond to them directly. This first one, Kristy, is from Patty Pellman. Are the Devacurl products that are not in the Decadence line still stay safe to use in your professional opinion? That's a tough question, because she says safe.
I mean, it's no. I mean, it's. I think that most of them are, maybe the ones that are like the original core products. but I mean, like Melanie saying that, sodium hydroxide is in all of the conditioners now, and honestly, I hadn't scrutinized the labels enough to know that. And I guess that's where I get really frustrated, is that I don't feel like I should have to scrutinize labels. I don't feel like my clients should have to scrutinize labels so deeply. I just think it's really unethical. So, I mean, I would like to say yes, that I think, that, like we sell Archangel, we have styling cream, we have the Believe In, which I think is still a phenomenal product. The Frizz Free Volumizing Foam. I mean, Devacurl has some really fantastic styling products. I don't want to take anything away from these really good products that I think that they have created. However, we no longer carry any of their cleansers. And that is just for my peace of mind, because I can't say for certain if they're 100% safe.
I understand. Okay.
I didn't, and just because, I'm a little more into ingredients, so when something's brought to my attention, and my clients are very into ingredients because we are organic, so they're label readers. They are definitely gonna. I mean, I'm trying to, help with hair loss now. Funny. But the first thing they do is they'll pick up the product, even the hair vitamins, turn it around, and they're reading the ingredients, and it's like, what about this? What about that? And so I'm just used to that. But I didn't look at all of their products, but I looked at the shampoos and conditioners. I did not, if the sodium hydroxide was the concern, I did not see that in the cleansers. I saw it in the conditioners, all the conditioners and the leave-in. But, we had I don't know if you saw that episode, but we had a hair loss expert on the show, and I have become certified with her system as well. And she has a whole different opinion about what's causing that issue in the curly world. But
yeah, if anybody wants to see that, you can go to the Curly Hair Q&A show YouTube channel and look up the Nuratress interview from about a month ago. And I'll just throw this out there, because I'm with you on what you're saying, Kristy. And what's frustrating for us, and obviously, we've been in the organic space for a long time. What's really frustrating is, we have, several curly hair Facebook groups with a couple 100,000 curly girl and guy members. I'm in those all day, every day. And what really pains me is, I would say more than 50% of the curly girls, let's call them, don't care. Doesn't matter. Ingredients don't matter. And obviously, Kristy, I mean, us. I mean, we've been screaming ingredients matter for 10 years, right? And it's and to be in these groups and I'm killing myself over them, right? And to be able to sit there, every day and go in and watch hundreds of thousands of women in these groups that I really would like to have influence, on them, like we're talking tonight, and they just don't care. Yeah. Just don't care.
There's always a market for more high-end professional products, and then, lower-end retail products, big box store. But yeah, it's really interesting to see that and talk to people and when they don't care, but that was one of the things when I was questioned about, curly girl friendly ingredients in the Nuratress products, which are for stimulating hair growth. And, there's some ingredients that we would say are not curly girl friendly, but it comes down to a choice. Are you concerned about hair loss and growing new hair? Is that your priority? Or are you concerned about curly girl friendly and silicone, or, so you have to make that decision. What's important to you?
Yeah. So the statement, so I've got a statement to follow up, or a question to follow up the statement that I made. So that being said, what do you think we can do to change that? Or is there nothing we can do to change that? Is education the key, or does education not matter?
It's a really good question. I mean, I do think that education is the key. I do think it's important to educate, at least the clients that we have direct interactions and relationships with. to really educate them about how important it is about the things that we put on our body,
Mm-hmm.
the things that we put in our hair and on our scalp. Those things do matter. And I think that, the reason that this has become such a big thing of importance to me is because I'm growing as a curly girl. I'm growing as a curly hair stylist. I'm learning more, and I think this is just part of like a natural evolution where once you start to educate yourself a little bit, you say like, wait a minute, like, why didn't I know this before? Why am I just knowing this now? And like, what else don't I know? And then it motivates me to become a lot more savvy about ingredients. And I really do try to do that. Again, I've never created a curly hair product line before, and I don't have a lot of understanding with what a lot of these ingredients are, but I want to know. And I'm really grateful for apps like Think Dirty. I really love that Think Dirty app. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that at all.
I'm familiar with it.
But I think that's a really good tool for us as hairstylists and for consumers to, you can scan basically any barcode on any kind of hair product or skincare item, and it'll give it a rating based on the ingredients that are in there. And it's not just one ingredient that we have to be concerned about. I also think that artificial fragrance or like perfume, like those two terms can hide so many ingredients that are terrible for your hair.
Toxic ingredients. Yep.
Toxic ingredients. And I totally understand the frustration of curly girls, especially the ones who say that they don't care, because they basically have two choices, right? They can have like the salon professional, maybe like much more refined, organically sourced products, and they're going to be a lot more expensive. And as curly girls, of course, we tend to go through a lot more products. But they have that avenue where the ingredients matter, but it's a lot more expensive, and maybe they just can't afford it. And so their concern then, or their priority, becomes really performance. They're like, if I can use this Aussie gel and I can get it at Walmart for $5 and my hair's not going to be frizzy, that's a bigger priority to them. So I completely see it both ways, and it is all about choices.
It is.
It was interesting how you said that the smell and consistency of the Diva products had changed. And they know this from the very beginning. The very first class I went to, I can't stand the smell. I could never stand the smell of it. And I never understood that, because I'm like, you guys, I already had my own product line at that point. And it's like, if you're using synthetic fragrances, why don't you make it smell amazing? We have such a hard time because we're limited to what we can use, because we only use essential oils. So there's only so much. And the reason, and I tell people this, and again, it's education, there is always going to be some kind of smell or fragrance in a product, whether it's synthetic or it's natural and organic, is going to make the difference. But the reason is because we know from manufacturing products, they do not smell nice. Even organic ingredients with nothing, they smell terrible.
Unscented?
There is, it's awful. So you have to have something to make it somewhat pleasant, even if you consider it like unscented. Yeah. But if you're going to use, perfumes are a huge irritant for a lot of people. But like I said, if you're going to use them, then you should, make it smell amazing. Yeah. But we just had that with another product. Same thing. It's interesting because literally one of my stylists ordered this deep conditioning treatment that she really loves, and it came and it's totally a different consistency and it smells completely different, and the company did the same thing. They're saying they didn't make any change, and we're like, it's not even close to what it was. So it's so odd. It's like, just admit, okay, we reformulated whatever's going on, or I don't know, but why try to deny it?
Well, I have to say that about the fragrance free thing, I really appreciate that Jessie Curl makes a no fragrance added option to their product line. I wish that more curly hairlines did that.
It's hard. It's expensive. It's hard.
I can definitely. I can definitely understand that. It sounds like it would be a complicated thing, but I have to tell you, it's so many people appreciate that option to really have no fragrance added. And again, it's not that it's fragrance free. I mean, it smells sort of like whatever, like the base of the products are,
right.
you know?
Right.
But it's really, really benign. And so I just find myself going towards things that are essential oil or like botanically fragranced, not anything artificial or synthetically fragranced, or like no fragrance added. And not just for my hair products, but for, you know, almost anything that I put on my body.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So did you have some more questions?
Yeah, let me go through some more questions. I'll go through them quick for you, Kristy. I really appreciate your time with Melanie and I tonight. But as I read these questions, just feel free. If you don't know, just say you don't know. Okay. Because I know, because we obviously, you guys know the way we do this show. When I do the questions here, I don't preview them to Melanie, and I don't preview them to the guests either. So if you, like I said, if you don't know, just don't know, because we do it all the time.
These are questions that came.
Doesn't make us look any less, whatever.
These are questions that came in.
Yeah, these are all questions that came in. So, okay. All right. The next question came from Ann Bauman. Kristy, I have read that small amounts of sodium hydroxide, which is the main ingredient in question, which can be called lye, can also be called caustic soda, which is how I sold it in my previous life. Sodium hydroxide can be used to balance pH. Is this a new ingredient in Devacurl products, or do you feel that the concentration has been increased to a point where it is now harmful or causing issues?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
It's not a new ingredient in the Decadence line. It's just something that I was ignorant about until recently.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And, but, you know, I mean, it is my personal opinion, just from like us having this conversation, that, you know, with Melanie pointing out that it's in the Devacurl original, just with my very close friendship with Lorraine, I will tell you that she would not have formulated a conditioner that had sodium hydroxide in it. And, you know, she was really one of the people that educated me about what sodium hydroxide is. So I would have to say that I don't believe that it would have been in any of the original formulations. But it has been in the Decadence line since it came out, but I wasn't aware of that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's go on to the next one. All right. This came from Ashley Craig. Kristy, what are your thoughts on the dozens of articles online claiming that sodium hydroxide in hair products in small quantities is safe, common, and used to balance pH and must be in the alkaline range of 8 to 10 to relax hair? Are you aware that dozens upon dozens of hair products contain the exact same ingredient using only 3 to 5 drops to balance pH, but label it as sodium chloride instead so as not to cause alarm? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm sure that that's true. But I also know that there's dozens and dozens of hair products that contain dimethicone, and there's dozens and dozens of hair products that contain sodium lauryl sulfate. There's dozens and dozens that contain artificial fragrances. And I just...
You don't want them, is what you're saying.
I don't think that we should have to accept that that's the standard. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she's right, you know, and I guess, I mean, again, I'm a hairstylist. I'm not a scientist. And, you know, I'm just saying that I would like to use products that are free of these ingredients. And I think that that's possible. And if it's not, then I guess I'm wrong. But okay. I'm just saying that it would be, I think it's something that we really should know what is going in our hair.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Next question is from Devon Clara. Kristy, on a chemical level, what does lye do to the structure of the hair or the hair chemistry? Once it's been used, is there any way to reverse the side effects from it?
Well, I mean, not in the relaxer form, no. I mean, we all know, you know, if we've had a relaxer ourselves, which I have, or, you know, if we know someone who's had a relaxer, yeah, I mean, that's an irreversible process. So that's in the relaxer form of it. In the form that it's being used, in in skin and hair products, I don't know. I don't know if there's any adverse effects to that, but just the fact that it is so caustic gives me pause to really think about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. A lot of these questions, I'm reading through them now, and as we've been talking and you've been talking, Kristy, you've actually been answering them. So I'm going to skip over them just for redundancy, or for lack of redundancy. Do you have any questions, Melanie, on there that you want to read from anybody, or do you want me to just go on?
You can go on. I was just going to comment and say, again, of course, it is possible because to formulate products that don't have, I call them bad ingredients, ingredients that are toxic or, damaging to hair or skin, because we've created one, the Raw Curls. And I don't know what line you're carrying now, but what would you recommend to people? Like, what are you selling to your clients in place of the Diva?
I would definitely recommend Raw Curls. We've been trying out AG Natural. Mm-hmm. Their natural line of products. I've had that for, I guess about 2 months now, and have been getting some really good feedback about that. I need to dig a little bit deeper into the full ingredients, but I feel like it's a much cleaner product line. It's not artificial fragrance, and of course we're using Curly World as our main cleanser and conditioner. The sham-free has replaced no poo. It makes the scalp feel a lot cleaner, more hydrated. But Curly World is a pretty small product line at this point. There's really only 4 pieces, so we do have to supplement it with other things. And we have Jessie Curl as well, specifically the no fragrance added. And we've also used some Inner Sense organic products. But I definitely do see myself prioritizing botanical and organic products. I think that that's just the direction that I'm going to go personally, that I'm going to take my business in. I realize it's not for everybody, and that's okay. To me, it just goes hand in hand with the curly girl lifestyle of, using more natural, plant-based, organic products. It just goes hand in hand with it. So it's just kind of a natural evolution of this journey.
Mm-hmm.
What is the price point of the Curly World products?
Is it comparable with the Devacurl products you replaced them with?
It's a little bit more expensive. It is a little bit more expensive.
Okay.
And I think I think anytime and the AG is just maybe a couple dollars more expensive. Mm-hmm. But I do think that anytime you go into products that are more botanical and more organic, I'm sure they cost more to produce, and I'm sure you guys
absolutely
you could tell us a lot more about that, but they cost more to produce because they're higher quality.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Andrea, I think this is really pronounced Andrea Maryhu, her comment for you is she looked into the ingredient sodium hydroxide that you mentioned, and she said she's found that it is used in Weedad conditioning products as well as Mop Top conditioning products, which are 2 beloved brands for curly girls. Are you, she said, I'm no chemist, but are those 2 product lines that you would also not use?
I think at this point, I'm not interested in using conditioners or cleansers that contain sodium hydroxide.
Okay, yeah. Good answer. All right, let's go on to the next one. Okay. Let's see what else I've got here. And like I said, a number of these were, were asked. I kind of narrowed that one down. Let me see that again, Melanie. That, okay. Yeah, you can go ahead. You can read that question if you'd like.
Okay, yeah. This one, because we've covered parts of it, but is from Susan Isola, and she said the Devacurl products have been one of the brands to which my hair responds well. I especially like the styling products like Super Cream. Does this ingredient change or affect only certain products, only certain lines, or is it across the board? And am I at risk of losing my hair if I use Devacurl products?
Like I said, I haven't scrutinized the styling products as much. I still carry the Devacurl styling products, and also I want to make a distinction about styling products and then cleansers and conditioners. We're not massaging styling products into our scalp.
Right.
If you're doing that, you're not applying it correctly. Styling products, we're applying them mostly to like the mid-shaft ends of our hair. We're not massaging it and stepping it down into our follicles. And we should also demand styling products that are clean and that, don't have anything toxic in them. But it's especially important that our cleansers and our conditioners, especially our cleansers, because that is what is supposed to be washing our scalp and nourishing our hair health. And we really vigorously rub that into our scalp, especially women like myself. It's like, I'll go 7 to 10 days without washing my hair. And so when I wash it, it's like, it's an event,
It needs to be washed.
Yeah. I'm using a lot and I'm scrubbing it down and I'm really working that stuff in. And so I think that there is a big distinction to be made between what we cleanse and condition our hair with and what we style our hair with, because it just doesn't make the same contact to the root of our hair. And so, I think it's perfectly safe to keep using, like, if you're happy with the Devacurl stylers, keep using them, but
Okay.
also if you're concerned about it, maybe look and see if there's an option that you want to try,
Yeah. So
Yeah, because I'm going to jump in. I agree and I disagree a little bit, because I think it is equally as important for the styling products. They may not be scrubbed into your scalp, but they're touching your face and they are not rinsed out. So
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are exposed to that for even longer because it's on your head, it's around your face. There's been people that have had issues with certain ingredients or products, and they break out on their
causing
face or their neck.
acne
Yeah.
in their neck, sides of their
Because you're
face.
not rinsing that out. So I think it's equally important for both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and here I've got another related question to this that, again, feel free to answer however you want. So obviously, as you mentioned before, there's been a lot of reports online of people claiming that using Devacurl products, whatever they are, has caused hair loss for them. There has been to the best of my knowledge, there has been no mass comment released by Devacurl, but this begs the question: do you think it's possible that these reports of hair loss might not actually be Devacurl products, but maybe the technique of co-washing and not cleansing the scalp?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think it could be
User error.
It could be one or the other. It could be both. And like my previous comment, I mean, I think it's near impossible sometimes to attribute alopecia to one singular thing. But I think that there is something to be said about what people are co-washing their hair with, what people are using on their scalp, and is it actually cleanly rinsing away? And if it's not, what is that going to do to the scalp? What is that going to do to the follicles if you're not actually rinsing it out? And I think that is the biggest user error when it comes to Devacurl No Poo. And not even really to the fault of the consumer. I find it extremely hard to actually cleanly rinse that away. And I could see someone, at home who's using it, on anything more than a once a week basis, really starting to get some buildup on their scalp. And even before I stopped carrying it, I would never recommend it to children because I knew that there was just no way that kids and teenagers were going to be able to effectively rinse that product off of their scalp. And, I was changing them to low poo, but then even, with the low poo, I just was feeling this feeling in the hair that I was not happy with. And so I decided to start exploring other options.
Mm-hmm. Did you have that feeling before Diva launched Build Up Buster or after?
Oh, that's a good question.
Did you question that when they launched that product as to why?
I didn't question it because I feel like Build Up on curly girl's scalp is something that is so common for so many different women. And I think it's because, you know, a lot of women do co-wash. So many women put way too much stuff in their hair. They maybe don't wash their hair enough. Buildup is just such a prevalent issue in the curly girl community. It didn't really surprise me all that much when they launched that. But, you know, it also kind of made me say, like, well, why do I need a buildup buster if, you know, like, isn't that what, like, can't the cleanser, like, be the buildup buster? I don't know. You know, and we did use that product for a little while in the salon. I understood that it was like micellar water based a little bit. And so I could see the added value. You know, let's say if someone was a swimmer, like in a chlorine pool a lot, or had hard water or something like that, you know, I do think that sometimes, you know, like a Malibu Sea treatment or something like that, something more enzyme based definitely has a place in a lot of people's routines. But, you know, I really can't honestly say if, you know, I just feel like it's something that's been building for a while, and I got a little emotional and I made, you know, I got a little emotional and because I care about this a lot for myself and for my clients. It's not, you know, it's, you know, yes, this is my career, but on a much deeper level, this is something I care extremely deeply about. And, you know, I want to make sure that I'm not being deceived, and I want to make sure that I'm not introducing products to people that is going to harm them.
Yeah. Hey, you know, I'll never criticize passion. You ain't gonna get criticized by me. No, I appreciate that a lot. Have you got anything else for Kristy? That's all I've got for her.
I don't think so. I think we covered it all.
Okay. Hey, Kristy, thank you very much for coming on with us tonight. We really appreciate it. And we've had lots and lots of people watching, and I'm sure are going to listen tomorrow morning on the podcast at 5:30 a.m. Hey,
I have a fun fact about
well,
Kristy.
wait. Before you get your fun fact with Kristy, what did you do to my mic?
Yeah, I just adjusted it a little, but it loosened it up. I don't know. I touched it.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot just like I do everybody else. So Kristy, if we ask you in the future coming up here to come on and do live Q&A on curly hair in general, would you come back on?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Great, good, because we're gonna ask you. That's why I did it in front of everybody. So I put you on the spot so I get you to come back as a guest. But yeah, that's what we've been doing is we've been bringing other people back on that we've had on before just to do live Q&A because it's fun, you know, because it's so think on your feet and people get to participate and they like it a lot. And it's a good way for people to get to know you, you know, as a professional and in this kind of a situation. So you got a fun fact,
By
Melanie?
the way, I love your carts. I can see them in the background. My salon is
It's your
turquoise and
color.
white. I know. I'm like, I have to have that.
Are those
I'm
toolboxes?
staring at it the whole time
Yeah, they
behind
are.
it. Yes. Yes. Actually, I must have seen that before because then I looked it up. I was like, oh, there's a turquoise too. We had looked at having toolboxes as well. I went with white. What a
They're
nightmare
awesome.
that is. Don't do it. Oh, God. You know, people are messy and it gets stained and it's just bad. So those are on my list for my next set.
There you go.
Yeah. But I was just going to say, Kristy and I actually share some clients. We have common clients. So when they...
Oh, I forgot that should have been part of the full disclosure.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Melanie.
So-
go ahead, spill it.
I thought that's kind of a fun fact for people to know. So
Tell us, explain why.
Well, when we call them the snowbirds or seasonal people come down to Naples in the winter, then I do their hair. And then when they go back up north in the summer, then Kristy does their hair. So it's kind of fun to have that relationship with people and you know that they're in good hands wherever they, you know, when they go back and forth. So that's kind of fun. Yeah, we have several. And with your previous business partner, Rosie, I share some people as well.
Yeah, how fun.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Send more of those Minneapolis people down.
And Melanie and I are both Wisconsin girls. So.
Yes,
Sure
that's
are.
right. That's right. We're cheeseheads.
Sure are. Yeah, but you're actually, because are you actually living in Minneapolis now, or are you living still on the other side of the bridge?
No, I live in Stillwater. I feel a little bit uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable about being in Minnesota, but I'm getting used to it.
Traitor.
I know that's
traitor.
It's like the longest bridge in the world, right?
Yeah.
From one world to another. Oh my gosh.
Well, congratulations on all your success and growth. That's amazing. I love to hear it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you again for coming on, and I'll message you here within the next month or two, and we'll schedule another time to get you to come on and do Q&A with us. So
Cool.
anyway, well, thanks again. I appreciate you joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, Kristy.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
Kristy.
Bye.
And there you have it. Well, that was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
fun.
good.
Good, wonderful. Okay. Hopefully that guy that you guys clears up everything that you had to ask her and wanted her to clarify. I think she did a really good job of coming on here and explaining her points of view as a curl professional in this industry, and someone with a lot of experience that's well known. So
Very good.
yeah. So anyway. Anything else you want to wrap up with, or is that pretty much it?
That's it.
That's pretty much it. Okay. All right. So we'll see you guys next week for episode 141. And you know what next week brings?
I don't know.
It brings back the Curl Crap giveaways. I think it'll be number 15. So
We're giving this away.
dun dun dun.
Now that we just talked about how toxic it is.
Right.
Guess what's going to be in
Right.
your Curl Crop package? Woohoo!
And you know what's going to happen? It's going to be Red. Who is the first person with the correct answer? Kristy Zimmerman from Stillwater, Minnesota. Oh my God. Anyway.
Have a great curly week.
That would be funny. Anyway, have a great curly week, and we'll see you guys next week, Monday, same place, same time. See ya.